All right. Happy Tuesday evening, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Tony Denaro here with the Massalorian. We're going to be talking about some updates on the AMC APE Preferred Equity Unit. We're going to do a quick recap on is the APE unit dilution, because I know I'm still getting a lot of questions about that. So we're going to run through that really quick without questions and answers. This is just going to be a presentation. Look, it is what it is. And if you don't agree, that's fine. If this is confusing, you can play this back slower at a later time. And then I've been doing some work today contacting the CBOE and the OCC to see what they can tell us about options for AMC, because obviously if some of the value of AMC is moving to APE on the 22nd, that's going to have some impact to the options chain, at least we think. And so the CBOE and the OCC. The other thing besides AMC, what's going to happen with that options chain is a lot of people are wondering, are options going to be available for APE? I know there's other topics that you guys are interested in, so let us get through this material first. Please hold any questions, because I'm not going to be looking at questions or the chat too much while we're going through this. We're going to try and get through it quickly, as quick as we can, to respect your time. And then we'll do open Q&A about whatever you guys want to talk about. Massalorian, how you doing? Been a long time, brother. Tell us where you've been.
Fine.
What's good?
I'm doing fine, my friend. How are you? I'm so glad to be back on. It was a bad week to miss, but if any group of people I could have wanted good things to happen to this week, it would be you guys. So I'm extremely happy for everyone that's had a wild ride this week, and I'm bummed I couldn't be a part of it, but maybe it was a good thing that I left, because as soon as I left, AMC took off, and as soon as I came back, we started going red again. So maybe I need to take another hiatus for a couple more days, and we'll start to rock it again. I hope not.
It looks like you might be set up in a new location. Is that true?
Yes, we are broadcasting tonight from southern New England, Woonsocket, Rhode Island. First night here, and this is just a temporary background right now. The actual background is on the other side of the screen. This is the old background, but the new one is being finished and will be ready in next 9-10 days. So this will not be what you see going forward. It's going to be completely different.
Let's get a quick look at the full, what you have going on there.
So right now, I just have a V coming in from the corner of the room, and I'm stuck in the corner with my desk here. But what you can't see is in front of me, and that's going to be the actual background, which is the corner that's opposite where we are.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think you guys will be, you'll like it. I hope so.
So again, for those just joining in, we're going to do a quick review of dilution, talk about the options chain. We're not going to be answering questions in this part. So if you're typing in questions, we're not going to see them. They will be buried in the chat, never to be seen again. So if you have good questions, write them down and save them for about, 5 or 10 minutes from now. And then we will be happy to take all of your questions to the greatest extent of our humble ability to answer them. All right. So I've been getting, if you missed it, please go back and watch the presentation we did on Sunday night with Pantheon and KC. We did a much more deep dive, everything you could want to know that we know about the APE unit. And that was a great talk. I'm glad those two gentlemen came on with me and helped go over that. And they did a lot of the work alongside myself and many other people, putting all of that information together and the Q&A. So tonight we're just going to focus on two things: is the APE unit dilution, and then we'll talk about the options chain, today's updated info. As you guys know, 516 million AMC Preferred Equity Units are going to be dropping from AMC to each shareholder on August 22nd. And the question is it dilution? And be patient with me for a couple seconds. If this is making you angry, just Bear with me a couple seconds. Let me get through the info. On August 22nd, when the initial APE unit distribution happens, that is not dilution. None of you will have a reduced percentage of ownership in the company. None of you will have a change in your total investment value. It might be reconfigured a little bit between AMC and APE, but on that day, on the 22nd, that is not dilution. In the future, yes, Adam Aron has the ability to sell extra or additional APE units. That would most certainly be dilution. No argument about that. We went over this on Sunday night, and that is something to consider, and we will be talking about that if and when he does that. And I don't think any of us are a fan necessarily of dilution, but we'll talk about if he does it, what is any potential good side of that? Well, that'll be one of the last things we talk about here. All of this, comes from his tweets. Adam Aron said on a tweet on August 6th, this is not dilution. And I'm going to go through with you more than just a tweet to make the case. And he also said it would be dilution after August 22nd to issue more APEs, just like I went over on that first slide. You can go to Investopedia or the SEC and look up these definitions. Share dilution is when a company issues additional stock that reduces the ownership proportion of a current shareholder. And that is not going to happen to you by the initial introduction of the APE unit. Your ownership proportion and the value of what you own is not going to change. Also, he's alluded to this, in essence, being a stock split. And if you guys have been around for any time, you know by now that a stock split is never considered dilution. And you can go to the links I have here on the SEC. You can Google it. Stock splits are not considered dilution. And this will, in effect, act like a stock split. Adam also had a tweet on August 6th, looking at the last part of this sentence. Logic says that initially the AMC share should approximately trade for 50% and the APE unit 50% of where they were just before the dividend. So to my mind, that means that most likely, and again, we're just guessing, guys, the market has not decided it yet, but just work with us for tonight. Let's just assume this is correct. At the end of business, end of trading day on the 19th, if AMC were trading at, say, $22, you'd divide it by 2, and AMC would drop to 11, and the APE unit would launch on Monday at $11. You still have a total of $22 per combined share. The power, the Wonder Twins. Nothing changed to the value of your investment. Nothing changed for the shorts as far as what they owe or the percentage of the company they're shorting. Again, I know this is difficult for some people, and it's mind twisting. I totally get it. Watch this slowly on repeat if you need to, and feel free to leave comments if you're watching this on replay, and I'm happy to answer questions. And we will do Q&A after this. Very quickly, just some basic math. Let's just assume you were fortunate enough to own 1% of AMC. With 516 million shares, you'd own 5.1 million shares. You would have a ownership of $113 million, and you'd have 5.1 million votes on August 19th. Oh man, if any one of us could own 1%, Massalorian.
Seriously.
On Monday,
you don't have 5 mil laying around anywhere, Tony?
Yeah, not today. Last week, I took Scarlett out for dinner, and God damn it. On Monday, the 22nd, after the APE distribution, if you were that lucky 1% owner, and now we have an equal amount of APE units distributed into the market, you would own 5.1 million APEs and 5.1 million AMC. Let's go with Adam Aron's tweet where he assumed that quite likely the price would split in 2, so each one's worth 11. With this math at the bottom of the slide, you'd have $56 million of AMC, $56 million of APE. Your total investment in the company is still $113 million. You're still a 1% owner. As far as your votes, the APE unit has a vote per share, just like AMC. The combined float of AMC and APE is slightly over 1 billion, 1.03 billion. If you were that lucky 1% owner, you'd have 5.1 million AMC votes, 5.1 million APE votes total, 10.3 million votes, or 1%. So your proportion of ownership by votes did not change, and your proportion financially, your investment in the company did not change. And the market cap of the company did not change. Nothing changes. It's just a redistribution. So whether we're talking 50-50, 90-20, 60-40, however the market decides on the 22nd to value the APE, all of this math works out. And I know not everybody wants to do math, but it is here for you. Watch it back slowly at your leisure. And if you still disagree with it, if you can provide me a coherent argument where we screwed it up, I'm happy to talk with you about it. Just a recap, you did not, on August 22nd, you were not diluted because you did not have a reduced proportion of ownership and you did not have a reduction in your total investment. Mass, you with me so far?
100%.
After, again, recap for all the people that are screaming, what about the dilution when he issues more APEs? 100% you will be diluted if anytime after August 22nd he issues more APEs. All of us are in agreement on that, I think. And Adam Aaron and AMC will have 484 million additional APEs that they can dilute with. They have filed paperwork with the Secretary of State of Delaware to transform 10 million preferred units into APEs. That gives them $1 billion in the Treasury, and he's giving 516 million of them to us. That leaves him 484 million to dilute with. What about that 5 billion number, Tony? Only 10 million preferred shares have had paperwork filed to be transformed into APEs. Could at some point, if he decided to go off into Looney Tune land, transform more preferred shares into APEs? Sure, but there's no reason for that. I think that is FUD and trolling from the media and from hedge funds to cause panic in retail investors. Again, the only thing that has been filed is for enough to give you your APE shares and to give him a little bit of padding.
And T, can I just break in one quick and just say,
Absolutely.
You said from the
Yes.
hedge funds, the brokers, and other YouTubers who aren't breaking down the math correctly or just are misinterpreting maybe the information. It's important to understand that if he does add those, they will have to be after that date. And like Tony just said, he's not going to be Looney Tunes about it, right? It's not a necessity. So if a YouTuber is trying to scare you or someone's trying to fake you out of this position because of that, don't be misled by that.
And let me tell you why. Yeah, let me tell you why I think he would be Looney Tunes and never even really have the necessity to do that. I think we all can agree that AMC has $5 billion in debt, right? Am I correct on that, Massalorian, roughly?
They do, yes.
And it's coming due, guys. It's coming due between 2023 and 2029. And I think we can also agree, if we're honest with ourselves, AMC's ability to generate an extra $5 billion in profit between 2023 and 2029 to pay off that debt is looking pretty slim right now. I mean, if we get some point to profitability in 2023 and throw off $100 million in revenue, there's just no way we're going to generate $5 billion in revenue to pay off the debt by 2029. I just don't see it happening, being perfectly blunt. So his only option is to refinance that debt or figure out another way to pay it off. Further, bullet points on that. What would he might possibly do with the 484 million APE units after August 22nd? At some point, a week later, a month later, a year later, he can use that whenever he wants. We don't have to vote on that. It's already his. The paperwork's done. They were preferred shares that were already in the treasury of AMC. The paperwork's already been filed with the Secretary of State of Delaware to convert them to APEs. It's done. He can do with them what he wants when he wants. And just to be clear, to wrap up the dilution, I'm going to repeat, none of us want dilution before a stock squeeze, right? I mean, if and when it happens, and the price is running up and he announces dilution like we see so many CEOs do, right? Real talk here, guys. You've seen example after example after example, dozens and dozens and dozens of times in the last 2 years in the plays you've been in. When a stock runs up, they magically pop out a dilution notice. I'm telling you right now, this is your heads up. It's going to come. So for all of you counting on $1 million, well, mark this day in your calendar. You know, you were warned. A dilution is coming in a run up. I think.
If anyone, I'm sorry to break in, but if anyone tries to tell you that AMC or Adam Aaron ruined the MOAS by this, not necessarily true, right? Because he can't add any of those shares until later. It just might mean that we're not going to rocket to prices that are astronomical as maybe we thought we would have in the past. Keep that in the back of your mind.
And to be completely fair to Adam Aaron, his job is not to orchestrate a short squeeze, you know, to get each of us $1 million. His job is to ensure the financial viability of the company. And the best way he can do that is get the debt paid off. So if I was CEO, I'd do it the same thing. I hate saying this. I hate saying this, but if the stock, if it ran up to $100, I'd be looking at, you know, I got some debt to pay off. I'm going to save the future of this company. And the investors might not like it in the short term, but when you wake up tomorrow and you're owning a company that, you know, you were able to sell into a run up, you got some money, maybe not your $1 million per share that you wanted, but you got some money. I'm telling you, take that money in a run up, guys. But you're going to wake up the next day and whatever shares you have left, or if you're rebuying in, you're going to be buying back into a company that is going to be paying off its debt, obliterating the risk of bankruptcy and obliterating any short thesis that exists.
Yep.
So that is the good side of dilution. None of us want dilution, but you cannot ignore the inevitable $5 billion that train headed our way.
And just to break in again real quick, Tony, remember what Adam Aaron said to Melissa Lee when they sat down and did their interview? What did Adam Aaron say he wanted his legacy for AMC to be? Was it the MOAS or anything? No, he said, I want to leave this company better than when I found it. I know I want to be the phoenix that rise from the ashes. And if this is the way that's going to get him to that point, while also being able to help retail, then that's the steps he's going to take. And I don't think that Adam Aaron is trying to necessarily screw us as maybe some others do. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I just want to butt in with that. Sorry.
I pray to God that whatever happens, you know, the APE ticker is not going to be available till August 22nd. And if our due diligence about the implications of this APE to rehypothecated and loaned and shorted shares is correct, what we went over on Sunday, if that is correct, and something I'm going to share with you about options tonight, if all of that due diligence is correct, we have a good shot of a good price run up between now and the 22nd. If we don't, well, I guess we're going to have to come back to the drawing board and see what we missed. So I'm not worried about today's price action being low. The candle yesterday with that long upper shadow is already forecasting that today was probably going to be a red day. So we already kind of in the Discord knew that today was going to be a red day. Did you want to add anything else, Massalorian?
No, just you know, it sucks sometimes to level with people, but you know, there's a lot of money on the line here. I know for me, myself, I know for every person that I've ever met in this play that's either subscribed to the channel or I've spoken to in a comment. So I think it's important that we get this shit straight and not be leading people astray or presenting too much hopium. That's all. That's all. I hate to be I hate to be called a fudster or that we're trying to put a killing on this. It's not that at all. Just
you can call us fudsters. You can also go back and look at my history of calling things, and I'll stand on my 1-year history of due diligence on many different things. And you can either like it or not. I really don't care. All right, moving on. Options. So as I said, I talked to the CBOE and the OCC today about what is going to happen with AMC and the APE options. A lot of people are asking, is the APE going to have options chain? What's going to happen to open calls and puts in AMC if some value is removed from it and moved over to APE? Very good questions. If anyone's telling you they know exactly what is going to happen, I can tell you right now that no one knows no one knows what's happening, because both the CBOE and the OCC said that they don't know what's happening yet.
You calling me a liar?
Here's an email from Mr. O'Dowd. I talked to him. He's at the trade desk. He's a senior specialist at the CBOE. And the highlights from this email says, it appears that the APE unit, this is talking about the APE unit, being that it's a preferred security, it is rare that we will list options on that security type. It would need to meet our listing requirements, which it probably will after a day or two. And perhaps sometime next week, there will be more information to provide. So the CBOE, guys, is the one that is going to decide if there is an options chain listed for APE. And right now, they have not made up their mind. There's no guidance. So as soon as I get that from them, I'm going to stay in touch with Mr. O'Dowd. As soon as I get that, I will bring you more information. We all want to know. But right now, what he's saying is if it's a preferred security, it is rare that they list options on that. Again, more details next week.
Hopefully.
Now, from the OCC is going to be the ones that decide what happened to the existing AMC options chain. If AMC is worth $22 and half of it comes out and goes to APE, well, you got a problem with your existing options because they were calculated on $22, not $11. Some adjustment will be made. Let's go into what he said. OCC has yet to publish a notice. So, and I looked on their website numerous times today. Monitor our public website for updates as they occur. So this was the email from Mark Benzaquin with the OCC in investor support. Basically, what that's saying is they have not made up their mind what they're going to do yet. The link to where to go is right here. And I'll put it in the video description also. And these are what the information memos look like. You guys, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see I posted the one from here today about BBIG, about the collateral haircut 100% on BBIG. That came from this website. There's a lot of good info if you monitor the OCC information memos. But as soon as they decide what to do, the Tesla 3-for-1 split is in here. Once they decide what to do with AMC options, it will be here, probably before they even call me. No one's going to be at a disadvantage or an advantage if you have puts or calls. I know a lot of people are worried, oh, well, if the price drops, the people that have puts are automatically going to win. It doesn't work that way. They have to make it equitable. So I don't know what the solution will be. Part of that will be dependent, I think, on will APE have options? And if not, there'll be some other way, and they will communicate to that. They will communicate that to us. But do not worry that people that have puts are going to get an advantage. That would not be fair, and that would not happen. Mass, did you have a question?
Nope. I do have a comment, though. Do you mind?
Yep. No, I don't mind.
3 things. someone talked about hodling, and someone said something about in the comments, pissed about dilution. Ash, it looks like Ash or Ashley said that. I think we all will be pissed, Ashley, if there's any type of dilution before the time that it's necessary, right? I think we'd all be pissed at that. So that's a given, and we're just not there yet. But if we come to that road and when we come to that bridge, we will cross it, right? But as of right now, we have to look at this in a positive light, in a bullish sense, as much as possible. Or at least I'm trying to, because I own the stock. So,
All right, that's all I had to go through on the slide deck. If you just tuned in and you want to know more about dilution or options, rewind, please. And if you want to know even more than that, watch Sunday night's live stream. And now we can take your daggers, your darts, your rocks,
insults,
questions, get it all out, guys. I know the raw information is hurtful to some people that have been listening to clickbait channels for a year and a half. But this is what it is. And I don't think that anything of this is a bad thing, not one little bit, unless you were counting on $1 million per share. I get it. This
then
is
we might
going to
have
be
an issue.
It's going to be a little bit like a slap in the face.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. T, give me 1 second. I am getting low on my camera a little bit because I look like a miniature next to you. I might just pull in a little tight. Hang on 1 second.
All right. We got a question from the esteemed Flaky Booger. When are apes being distributed? According to the press release and the paperwork filed, the ex-dividend date is August 22nd. And what that means is that and it says this in the press release in full English sentences, if you buy AMC before the 22nd, so that is by end of business on the 19th, you are entitled to the APE dividend. If you sell AMC before the 22nd, you are not entitled to the APE dividend. They will be distributed ideally when you wake up on Monday morning, although as we saw in like the GME rollout, sometimes there's a couple days of confusion, and this being something that is not normally done, the potential for confusion is there. But I expect to see mine on the 22nd when I wake up. And for everyone who says you got to buy it by the 10th or the 15th, T+2, gosh, man, I saw so many of those tweets today. And I mean, all you got to do is look at the paperwork filed or read the press release. It says exactly what you need to know about the 22nd. For all of you that want to have a chance to laugh at me, I'm in a separate account. I'm going to buy more AMC on the 19th, no matter what the price is, and show you that I got the APE dividend on Monday. Just for science, my little contribution for all the doubting Thomases. I did the same thing in GameStop. I bought GameStop the day before the split at the end of the trading day. I still got the split just fine.
Yep, you had no issues, right?
No, not at all. And multiple accounts. Accounts. Got it in all of them. All right. Let me see what other questions we got. Fresh here. Fresh from the Massalorian, you got a toothpick
tonight? Who said
tonight?
duck mass? Who said that? Yes, I do.
I don't know. Did they throw something at you?
No, someone said duck because I got my crosshairs from the camera on. Looks like I'm about to get 22 on my forehead.
Why is you look like you got a sniper on you? Is Kenny G targeting you?
No, I think this is the feds, the FBI. They must have found something in Trump's Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Hold on. Okay, it's gone. I got it. There we go. I need a bulletproof helmet. Maybe I will have to wear my Patriots helmet, Tendy. Sorry, bud.
I'm out climbing. According to all the paperwork and the press release, August 22nd, you must own AMC before then. So end of business the 19th. All right. Jerry says, is there a way Adam Aaron can give retail investors first dibs on shares should they decide to sell? Not that I'm aware of. No. All right.
Jack Wolf is, of course, shitting on me, saying that the real Sox are winning 3-1. Those are the ones that are white. Thanks, Jack.
Say that again one more time.
Jack said that the real Sox are winning right now, which I think he means the Chicago White Sox.
Gotcha. The real Sox. Okay.
Yes, the real Sox.
Raphael says, on August 22nd, the price will possibly be 50-50. Again, that's just a guess. I think Adam Aaron, I was talking about that this weekend, and then Adam Aaron tweeted it publicly. So I was glad to see him kind of reaffirm where I was headed already. Could there be a difference after August 22nd? Yes. If one of them has demand, maybe the APE actually could be more in demand because it's potentially not shortable. I don't know the answer to that yet, but it is also potentially not going to have options on it. Just might have some reasons. The APE might be more in demand. The price could start moving up faster on APE than AMC. I'm going to take a wait and see attitude before I just willy-nilly make a decision to sell one in favor of the other. And let me tell you just one more thing, Massalorian, about why I'm thinking that. You all know that at some point in the future, there could be a vote taken where Adams comes to you and says, hey, we want your permission to convert all of the APEs back to AMC shares. Do you remember that, Massalorian?
Yes, I do.
So do you think it's fair to say that in the minds of the market, an APE is equal in value to an AMC? That's where I'm going with that. If you know that in the future an APE can be converted into one AMC
share,
the market's essentially going to value them exactly the same. And even if one starts getting ahead of the other in price, I'm just guessing based on basics of finance and economics that they're going to quickly return to parity. Otherwise, there's an arbitrage opportunity of one versus the other. I can tell you if APE starts getting cheap, I'm going to be buying APE.
You're right. That just dawned on me as well.
If AMC is $11 and APE drops to $5, I'm going to be buying, APE. I'm going to be buying the hell out of APE because I'm counting that in some point in the future, they're going to convert to AMC shares, and I just got them half off. And Wall Street knows that, guys. They're not going to let these things. I would be very surprised if these things ever get very far off in price. That's just my guess. I could be wrong. And I'm making some assumptions that the market is going to value them based on my logic, but that's my logic. You can agree with it or not agree. It's just my opinion. Why does AMC have to be cut in half? It's not a split. I think I just went through the reasons how APE is worth one vote and it's worth half the company. And due to arbitrage and the potential of an APE to be converted back to one AMC share, they should launch at parity, and they should, I would think, remain at parity. If not, I just forecast you're going to see a lot of arbitrage. People are going to go buy one real quick and then go sell it, sell the other one. People do this all the time on crypto exchanges. You guys, some of you are not unfamiliar with what I'm talking about.
Someone was just saying, Doc did. What's up, Doc? Doxino just said Aaron has not set himself up to be hated. And I think I agree with you 100% with that too, Doc. Just on adding to that sentiment about AA. Again, the wording and everything, the timing, the tweets, I don't think he's going to do this for a huge letdown where everyone's going to hate the man. He's not going to be able to walk the streets anywhere. He's never handled himself in that way in the past. He's always come out on top and successful. I don't see him backpedaling himself into a corner that he can't get out of and is going to make himself look like a fool at the very end of his career, literally on the way out. Sorry.
No, you're good. All right, Eric. Eric, how you doing, buddy? Eric and Mass, let's assume 80% of the float is owned by retail and 80% of retail sells all their apes and buys all those dollars back into AMC. Wouldn't we own 160% of the
160% of the
float?
float. It's a good question. Serious question. Good question. Technically, yes. I don't know.
Not
On
not
paper.
100. No, if
Oh no, that's wrong. Yeah. No, it wouldn't be. No, because 80 and 80, right? You would
if
only have a
you
total.
if you moved all that money into AMC, you're going to buy it from someone who is selling. And so if we already owned 80%, you'd probably, I mean, it depends on who you're buying from, Eric. Are you buying from
Right.
other retail? Are you buying from institutions?
Institutions.
You can't
Right.
just take the percentages like that. You'd have to know who you're buying from.
Rich says we already own 500% of the float. Exactly, Rich. That's the least thing I'm worried about. That's the least thing I'm worried about, honestly, is that number I'm not concerned with so much.
Food Dog says, did you move into a brick oven?
I know, seriously. Food Dog, this is not the background. This is very temporary. The real background's in front of me right now. It's being worked on. Hey, Tendy.
What's up, Tendy time? All right. Do you think one can squeeze and not the other? I do not, because of my parity argument.
Right. And no matter what happens next week with CBOE, they probably wouldn't go together, right? No matter what happens with the options chain, right?
No matter what happens with the options chain, they would or would not go together?
Would not. None of that, it wouldn't matter next week, right? None of that information we're going to be getting.
After the 22nd, if there has not been a squeeze, I think that they will almost always trade it exactly or very close to the same value. Okay. I think it would be very hard for one to squeeze very long more than the other.
More than the other. Okay.
And it's just my guess that maybe the shorts obligation is going to, if half the price of AMC moves to the APE, this is just a guess that half of the shorts obligation is going to move to APE.
Move to AMC.
But that really depends on the lending agreement, right? Because I was talking with some folks in the Discord today. I don't know. Every lender might have different requirements. Right. Maybe the lender wants the dividend.
Correct.
Or maybe they just want the money and they say, you know what? Forget the APE. Just make sure we get our $20 million back.
Right.
Buy us 2 times as much AMC.
Right.
I can't tell you guys what every lender's rules are or what the agreements are. So I'm just trying to think all the scenarios.
It's probably going to vary. Yep. You're not going to be able to nail down an exact stipulation for each broker. No, you're right. Is it possible?
Thoughts on Blackrock reducing their position? But I haven't heard that. Have you heard anything about that, Mass?
No, the only thing I heard was that Susquehanna had a huge margin call on Friday, apparently.
Oh yeah.
49. What was it? 49 billion?
Yeah, and if you don't believe me, I've got a duck in the park that verified it.
Okay.
Yeah, that
I saw a couple comments. I had to bring it up.
That was blown out of the water already by anybody rational on Twitter. I mean, Susquehanna, I think their assets under management is 60 billion. It'd be pretty tough for them to get in a $48 billion margin call.
Yeah.
Ash says some have put life savings for 2 years for a squeeze and not a APE dilution. Well, I mean, a squeeze is still possible, Ash.
100%.
APE cannot squeeze without an options chain. Meagle didn't have an options chain. MKD did not have an options chain. I think that's a naive point of view, but I understand your concern.
They both ran thousands of percentage points.
Guys, there are people with channels, I can tell you right now, that dedicate their channels to picking plays that don't have options chain because it's easier to squeeze them. So don't come here and tell me that it can't squeeze without an options chain. Most definitely can. If you have a fully loaded options chain and you get a gamma squeeze, that is extra fuel on the fire. I think it's naive to say squeezes never happen without an options chain because I have good friends and acquaintances that target stocks with no options chain, specifically for the ease in squeezing.
Okay, hold on, tape real quick. 13F filing shows BlackRock reduced its position from 8.3 to 4.9%.
Say that again.
That BlackRock decreased their position. Sorry, shit. I'm still trying to get used to this monitor. Hang on. Decreased from 8.3 to 4.9% of their total investment in AMC.
From Fintel or from SEC filings or what?
13F.
Yeah, so that would have been last quarter's information.
Right, which is not eligible for, which has nothing to do with
it's already stale information. We don't know what they've been doing the last 30 days. 13Fs are remember 13Fs are, I'll pull it up.
It's 60?
I'll pull it up. Let me just not guess. Go ahead and take the next question, Mass, while I pull this up.
Sure. Yep. Let's see who we got here. King Louis says APE can't be suppressed by buying in the money calls to sell shares into the market. I believe APE is a hedge to hold AMC up. Ditto on that. RK13 Giggity. A lot of people talking about VRM in the chat. Have you heard anything about VRM? It's off the top of your head.
I'm pretty sure those are bots. Let me block them.
Wonderful.
Are they in your chat or mine?
Shit. Hang on.
I don't see them in my chat. I'm pretty sure I have that word blocked.
And I haven't been on in a week. How are they getting into mine already? Okay, got it.
I'm not seeing any new filings from BlackRock.
F filings are normally they're supposed to be filed though 45 days after, right? Or within, right?
Within, yeah.
Fiscal quarter. By the way, good evening to some people tonight. I saw one of my mods in here. Liz was in here. How you doing, Liz?
Let me do one other search here by date.
Mm-hmm. And Julie Barber, good evening. Haven't talked to Julie in forever, so want to say hey to her.
I'm looking all the filings that have been made in August. Not seeing anything, no updates from BlackRock.
John says everyone needs to take a cold shower and relax.
Amen. That was the very first thing I said on Thursdays. You guys need to, everybody, please take a couple days and understand this stuff, and let's not panic. Let's not put out misinformation, and let us get you the facts, and then we can sit around and talk about it.
Grandpa Barney. Oh, sorry. I just want to say, I saw Grandpa Barney. Just want to say thank you. And Grandpa said, did we see BlackRock got out of their AMC shares? No anything. So they cut half their position, Grandpa, from last quarter. Their 13F filing, right? So someone said BlackRock 13G reported 50% decrease.
All right. Let me go up to the 13Gs.
Now that's a different story.
The last 13G that was filed was February 4th. I don't know if y'all can find something that I can look up. I'm seeing the last 13G was filed on February 4th, 2022.
That's what I see too.
And that was not a 50% change in ownership. All right. John Curtis says, do you think we run up to dividend release and then drop? Hard for me to say, John, what happens after the 22nd, but my leading theory right now is yes, run up prior to the 22nd. Again, I might be wrong. I'm okay with that if I am. But based on my reading and what I'm seeing and what I'm theorizing, that is a very likely scenario.
Real quick, I just want to say, Ash and Julie, thank you for the chats very much. Ash said someone put their life savings in. Oh, you read that one, T? You did get that one, right?
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And we got Julie's too? I think we got Julie, right? So make sure we didn't miss anyone.
Mass, do you want to pull up Charlie's vids and see what he has on BlackRock while I pull up a couple of more questions?
Charlie's still cranking, huh?
I guess. I don't watch that channel. Rodrigo says, Trey charted out and bought VRM. Oh, I guess the VRM is a real thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Potential
It said it's not
side
bots,
squeeze.
it's Trey.
Oh, you better go unblock him after this. Thank you, Rodrigo.
Thanks, Rodrigo.
I don't watch Trey either, as you can tell.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, yeah. Here we go. From 3 hours ago.
228.9, someone's posting.
Yep, I got it. You want to take a listen or?
Do you want to, can you do a screen share?
Sure.
I mean, go to the part where he shows the form.
Yes,
Charlie's
sir.
usually pretty spot on his DD, but sometimes people don't show all the information. So I'm happy to look at it. And I don't know why I can't pull it up here.
I got it.
I don't know why I can't pull it up on Fintel. I mean.
Okay, hang on. Screen share. I got to cut my volume, correct?
Everyone, we have a filing out of AMC, or I should say BlackRock. They've amended their 13G, which is their institutional holdings. When you own 5% or more of a company, you need to file a 13G, and that is what has been filed. So let's go over this real quick. Basically, what we're seeing here in the filing is they've amended their 13F, and they've removed quite a few shares, because as we can see here, their aggregate sole dispositive power results in 25,224,810 shares. Well, the latest recording by Fintel is 42,892,769 shares. And the ownership is reported currently on their website, which is out of date as of now, at 8.30%. If we look in this prospectus here, or this filing, we can clearly see that the ownership percent of class has been reduced to 4.9, and basically your amount beneficially owned has dropped from 42 million down to 25 million. So take that for what it's worth. They have reduced their holdings substantially from what it was before. They owned in total about, again, 42.8 million shares on the latest recorded share count here from Fintel. But as I just showed you, sec.gov full text search results show a 13G/A, which is a beneficial ownership report of 5% or more, filed today from BlackRock, disclosing that they only now hold a 4.9% stake in AMC, still holding 25.2K, 224K shares. So reduce their holding substantially. It is what it is. Just keep moving forward. You know, that's actually a good thing. You don't want large institutional owners controlling the supply and the demand. So get the fuck out. Anyways, 25,224,810 is the new number reported from BlackRock.
Well, you know, that much, if that is true, and I'll go look at sec.gov, usually Fintel picks it up right away. I agree with them. Now I say two things. Now we know who's been selling. Can you hear me?
Right.
We know who's been selling.
Yeah.
And I don't like institutions owning a bunch of our shares, because I don't trust them. I don't trust them to diamond hand in a run up. So that is bullish to me that they got out. Vanguard also has a large position, but it's in ETFs. So that's not going to be easy to dispose of. BlackRock has always been the one that I've been worried about screwing us in a squeeze.
And you know what? I gotta admit something right now, because last summer, I remember I was talking to my subscribers, talking about following the money and seeing that the big institutions were buying in, thinking that was bullish. And even though it can still be considered bullish, but the whole thing about them lending out the shares, now looking back, I feel like I should have been like, follow the money, but understand, in some spots, why they are buying these shares is for different reasons than we think.
Someone said BlackRock submitted the request for multiple 5-minute halts. I read the document, guys. This is being completely misconstrued. It's not even worth talking about.
Misinterpreted.
Whoever posted that has nothing. There's already 5-minute halts programmed in the market. Whoever posted that is trolling you
big time.
And I just read it. It says exactly what it is. It was more clickbait trolling nonsense.
Yes. Good evening, Dana. Let's see here. Someone just said, hang on one second. Someone just made a good point. Man, I don't like not being in control of the chat. It's weird. This is very strange to me.
Did you set your chat to slow chat?
I did. You told me 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, it's going by fast, man. It's hard for me to even
really
pick out the comments.
Really
I know
is
people
tough.
get mad when they someone was saying the other day, why do you have 60-second delay on the chat? I was like, well, if you're sitting in one of our chairs trying to answer people's questions, you would know why we have it on slow chat, because I mean, we're missing so many. And it does help us answer everybody if the chat is a little slower.
And we do try to get to everyone. As much as it may not seem like we really are trying to get to everyone, depending on who's running it. Tonight, Tony's running the questions. Some nights I do. We try to get to everyone at least once a night if we can. And again, don't feel like you have to do a super chat for us to ask a question or answer a question. That's not the case. Not on my channel. Not on Tony. I know it's not on Tony's channel either. We'll try to answer everyone no matter.
Justin's asking if I listened or you listened to Bigham's last night. I'll be honest, I had his live stream playing on my screen, and we had our own private Discord chat going on, voice chat. So I had to have the audio muted for Bigham's, and he didn't have closed captions. Turn on closed captions, Bigham's, so those of us that have the audio off can see what you're saying. But I saw it, and I went back to go watch it today, and it was offline. So I asked him to email me a link. Look like, I mean, he's got the stuff pretty well nailed. He's got the stuff pretty well nailed, I think. And I'd like to have him on a future, whatever the next version of this due diligence on APE is. I'd like to have him on. I consider him a friend. I respect him. And he's done a good job of figuring this out by himself. So kudos to him.
Touche, Tenny time. MC said Tom Z put that out today. Thanks, MC. That's understandable now. We just both took that breath right before we want to speak. Did you hear it at the same time? Let's see.
I'm just reading comments and figuring if it's even worth my time to read it out loud.
I know. I'm looking at these too. I see Tony.
Some of this stuff is just not even worth reading.
I know.
I know you guys just want a reaction, but you're not going to get it.
Unreal. That's right, Liz. I do get demonetized. Not even for curse words. If I just use the JB word, it's not a curse word. Not yet. They're changing definitions of things quickly, though. Who knows? JB might be a swear word by next year. Never know.
Thicky says, I did see that part where he was highlighting the Matt Kors Moon Gang fanny packs. I was rolling in my chair.
That would be awesome.
I cannot believe that Kors has fanny packs for sale. Come on, Matty.
Unbelievable. What are you putting in there, Matt? Your tendies?
Not 8 shares. Not 8 shares.
Six Son. Yes, I'm 75% Greek. Yes, sir. 25% what? Neanderthal, probably.
Julie, we love you. Thank you, Julie. Supra7 says, isn't BBBY a good squeeze play compared to AMC? I guess, that's a matter of opinion. I don't have any hard feelings for anyone that wants to play BBBY. I've talked about it. I get asked about it every day on my live stream. I'll tell you in 30 seconds what I tell them. And that doesn't mean, you do you, but I just have a preference not to own stocks right now in an inflationary, recessionary environment of stores that have massive quantity of brick and mortar with massive amounts of inventory. That's just my preference because that's a risk. And I'm already in meme stocks, AMC and GameStop, and I don't need another one. So that's just me. You can do whatever you'd like.
And me and Tony have been talking about this ad nauseum about brick and mortar and things that are going on between crime waves and COVID restrictions and yada, yada. Shit, I shouldn't have said that word. But brick and mortar is in a very tumultuous space right now. So whenever you're investing in that, just keep everything in the back of your mind.
What prevents the DTCC from producing billions of APE shares? Well, I mean, the DTCC's job is not to produce shares. So I'm just going to stop right there. You can try a different question. Lemon pepper tendies, someone said in the fanny packs.
Man, Tony got raw right there. It's been a week. I've been listening to Tony in the background from time to time, but man, he took that right to the gut right there.
I mean, I'm just trying to get as many real questions. I'm trying to get real questions, guys. I'm not doing the whole conspiracy theory shit for you. Go ask someone else on a clickbait channel those questions. Mass, I've already answered this one a couple times. You want to give it a shot for Billy?
Yes. So Tony Mass, wouldn't the APE shares be more valuable than AMC shares since APEs are tax-free while AMC shares are taxed? Do I have that correct? Thanks, guys. So did we get into anything about the taxes on these, Tony? Did we talk
dividend
about...
Since it is considered a dividend distribution, it's not taxed when you receive it like a cash dividend would be. It is still taxed when you sell it, just like an AMC share.
So it's considered capital gains tax?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think maybe that's just a misunderstanding. It will be taxed just like your AMC shares. Yep. Cash dividends get a separate tax treatment. You might hold your APE unit for over a year and then you get short-term capital gains. A cash dividend must be claimed that year as dividend income, no matter what.
Someone just said that the movies were a hit during the Great Recession. That's correct. They had all-time receipts during the Great Depression. So if we are heading towards a recession, history has told us that the movie theaters do quite well during recessions for whatever reason. But it's not a recession, right, YouTube?
Oh boy. Don't trigger anybody, Mass. We've already...
I know. It's running on Tony's channel. I don't want to get him demonetized.
What happens to my dollar cost average in AMC after we get the APE? I think I saw a tweet from Adam Aaron. Now, I'm not an accountant, but I thought I saw something that said your dollar cost average is going to stay the same.
He did?
Because essentially it's a stock split.
Right.
So I believe that to be correct to the best of my knowledge. It will stay exactly the same.
You think we'll have any price dilution? To take your mind off reality, Massalorian.
Was that a question?
That was a little inside joke, me and you. Angelina said, what did you say, Angelina? Massalorian, what did you say? I can't control this thing. This is weird. Okay, never mind. I can't go back into the chat to see if I missed something. So
you can in your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I unfortunately I only have one screen right now. Remember, my computer's broken, so I only have the monitor I'm using. Yeah. What
happens if we have a bunch of people after the special dividend that have not received their APE shares? If there are billions of synthetics and rehypothecation and FTDs and shorted shares, and they don't clean it up before the 22nd, and there are billions of you who did not get your APE units. Well, first of all, I don't think they would let it get to that point because that's going to expose them. If you don't, then you need to start raising holy hell with your broker, and all of us want to know about it on social media, because that would be proof of the corruption.
Right.
And if
that
there
would be a time. Yep.
If there are tens of thousands or million of us saying we did not get our APE, they are exposed. And I do not think that they will let it get to that point. If everything you've been told over the last year about, we own the float 10 times over is correct, well, they got a lot of cleaning up to do in the next 8 trading days, or they are going to be exposed. Eric says, Tony, I think you're so smart, you'll never know more than me. Lou.
Sign Lou.
Love Lou.
Love Lou. I told you.
I do love Lou, guys. He cracks me up.
He's funny, man. He got me last night. I was in stitches last night. I told you I got a shout out from him, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Someone said, talk about, who was this? Talk about the Adam Aaron email. Phil sent me an email that looks like it was between him and Adam Aaron. Let me see if I can talk about the highlights of this real quick, if I can find it again. I'm not going to put it up on the screen because obviously I can't verify that this is correct, but I'm taking Phil at his word, and he is a member of the Discord. So I'm nothing against him, but you guys know how things get, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyways.
Who's he from? Phil for real?
No, another Phil that's in my Discord, and it looks like a legit email chain. And basically, guys, Adam Aaron, Phil had some serious questions for Adam Aaron about, serious concerns about this APE unit not doing what Adam Aaron said that it would do. And here was Adam's last response to Phil. Says, one thing you're clearly missing to Phil. You said short sellers would be able to cover their position with cheaper AMC shares. You are forgetting that on August 22nd, they will also have to buy an APE for each share that they borrow to give to the share lender. Had shorts wanted to cover before our APE announcement, it would have cost them $14.50. Today, on Friday, it would have cost them $22.18, a 53% increase to cover that short. Needless to say, we're off to a good start. Is it possible that we actually know what we're doing? ? Love, Adam Aaron. I added the love, but
okay. I was going to say he did,
but I thought that was a nice response from Adam, and Phil was having a good go at him in the first few emails, and Adam kind of took it home nicely.
Absolutely. Where did you see? Where did you get that from? How did you get your hands on that?
Phil, the one that's in the chat, he
emailed it to you?
Discord, and he forwarded me the email chain.
By the way, Tony, some maybe more than one person was asking how to join your Discord. Discord.
I don't talk about that anymore because of the people that give me hell about it. The haters.
Sorry.
So you're gonna need to figure it out on your own, or ask somebody with a badge next to their name. I'm not here to sell Discords.
Yeah, Lupe. Hey, thank you, Lupe. Lupe, I got a new. I'm gonna be ordering a new screen tomorrow. I'm gonna try to replace it myself because I don't know if I told you, Tony, but they want basically. I think they got you dragged over a barrel with these computers. If you have an all-in-one unit, sorry, I don't mean to get off track here about the stock, but they really stick it to you if you want to just replace the actual screen for your computer. So 2 words of advice: never get a touchscreen monitor in an all-in-one desktop. Never get a touchscreen because they want 3 times the amount of money for it to put it in. And always buy a separate tower. Don't ever do what I did. That was the biggest mistake, buying one of these.
Massalorian, I know you told me you don't want to talk about this, but how many things did you break on this move?
Honestly, Tony, I don't want to talk about it because I will really get upset right now. I just want to move on. Just go. Someday we'll talk about the future. It's way too soon. It's way too soon.
All right.
Way too
Well,
soon.
I'm glad
It's
you
been
figured
bad.
out a way to be here with us tonight.
I'm very happy to be here. Very happy. Excited.
Someone's asking, is it true that when we get APE, the AMC will go down half and an APE will be the other half? That is what we are understanding. We'll know for sure when it happens. I mean, the market's going to figure it out, and they'll decide between the 19th and the 22nd. But that is the most, in my mind, the most logical way to do it. And Adam Aaron tweeted out the same on Sunday.
Carol Ann, where are you from on the Cape? Put it in the chat. Dana says, Mass, I have a shoulder you can cry on. I need a revolver, not a shoulder. Put me out of my misery.
Jay Froze says, they said Mass has two ninja
braids under the hat.
Everyone wants to know what's under the hat.
I got cornrows. I don't know what you're talking about.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Andrew, no, I have not mentioned Boss Blunt's tweet because we've been on here for the last 90 minutes. Haven't seen it yet, my friend. Lisa says, I don't know. I'm just asking if Tony's still holding it. If I'm still holding what? Lisa, I guess I missed your tweet.
By the way, Tony, did you happen to buy back into GME last week?
Yeah. You covered it in the live, gave the technical analysis, and enjoyed that beautiful, beautiful write-up.
It was nice, right?
Absolutely. Do I think that there are way more shares being held than the float? We've, Massalorian and I, and the folks in I think I might have had that conversation with some of the folks in the Discord also. I do think that there is more shares than the float. I mean, and we know just at a minimum that we can look at the short interest and the loaned out shares and see that just in that, there's 130 million. And then add in FTDs, maybe another million per day on any given day. Sometimes it's 200,000, sometimes it's 6 million, but really the one that gets me hyped up is rehypothecated shares, because I don't know that there's a good way to count that.
Nope.
I can
count most of those out there.
I can count shorted shares by exchange reports and Ortex estimates, and I feel like we're pretty close on those. But rehypothecation, the loaning of share over and over and over to multiple people with no legal limit on how many times they can do it, that gets me excited. And
we've been saying that for a long time.
That's what I am hoping that the brokers are scared about right now, that they have sold and resold these shares. But we have no way of knowing that because no one reports rehypothecation. Okay,
D. So I got Marcel in the last 18 minutes ago. He tweeted something about BlackRock. Do you want me to share this with you? Screen share?
I mean, if you think it's up to you.
Let me just see.
Is it related to
SEC?
Is it related to AMC and APE? I'm trying to stay on the AMC APE topic tonight so we can answer all these questions.
No, he's talking about something else. No, talking about reverse repos.
All right.
Moving on.
All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not the topic of tonight, guys.
This is Tony's stream, guys. He runs a tight ship. Sometimes I go lackadaisical. I can go off and look at other things. Tony is blinders.
When it slows down, and we have time to get everybody's questions answered on APE and AMC, we can chill out a little bit, but they're still coming in hot and heavy. And I don't want to lose a lot of people that are asking questions about APE and dilution because we get off on a tangent about BlackRock. If we get APE on the 19th,
most concerned.
Yeah, if we get APE on the 19th and AMC price drops, besides taxes, any reason to try and 2x AMC by selling Friday?
Congratulations, Pete, on holding that long.
What do you mean?
He says he's hodling since 2/1/21.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's a good hodl.
Yeah. Do you understand the question?
No.
Any reason to try and 2x AMC on the 22nd? You mean like
By selling Friday.
I don't know.
No, it doesn't. Wait. You can't. You'd have to buy more shares on Friday in order to get more APE.
I think he's thinking sell AMC on Friday, and then when the price cuts in half, just go buy AMC on Monday.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, you need to go back and watch the beginning of this presentation. I mean, AMC and APE it's going to split the value of the company in two. And if you sell AMC on Friday and think you're buying back at half price on Monday and getting a deal, that's just the math is not working out correctly. You'd be buying 50% less at half the price. So you'd be right back to where you were, essentially.
Yeah, J. Beeb said his last tweet was about Blackrock. Yeah, it just wasn't about, it's not kind of what we're talking about tonight, though, J. Beebs. But you're right. Yeah, it was about Blackrock and the Russia one. Is that the one you guys were talking about?
Why did Adam Aaron make it so complicated? I agree. Why couldn't he have had a FAQ page set up early on? I agree.
Honestly, I think he did a better job than Ryan Cohen did with their split. I'll say that so far, I think.
No? How many times has Ryan Cohen tweeted, or Matt Furlong, isn't that his name, the CEO nobody has ever heard from? How many times have they tweeted to explain anything about their stock split?
And got zero.
It's been over a month now that I've emailed them without a response from investor relations with questions about their stock split. They are, anyone who's shitting on AMC and our CEO should look back at how GameStop is treating their investors. You cannot get a freaking answer. I called their phone. The phone voicemail is full. Emailed
get
them.
An email back for them.
Emailed them. No answer. Anyone else I email on Wall Street, I get an answer that day or the next day. Been a month now, GameStop. Nothing. Tweeted them and complained. Nothing. So
at least we're getting something.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
Why is it complicated? Because, he had to come up with a complicated solution, I think. Honestly, were we going to approve more shares? Probably not. Do they need money at some point to pay off the debt? Unfortunately, yes. Does he want people off his back with a way to try and expose synthetics? I think he does. And is this possibly a way to expose synthetics due to the intricacy and the fact that nobody on Wall Street saw this coming? Yes to all of those questions.
This is the pounce.
It's an ingenious plan that is confusing to people, and I get it why people are fearful and scared and confused. And that's why we're here trying to explain it, all the good and the bad and the ugly. And I'm still bullish, but that there is a very good setup here for a chance to see if there's a bunch of brokers that are going to get scared and a bunch of shorts between now and the 22nd. Jeffrey says, who is the market? I think he's asking, like when I say the market is going to decide. I don't know, Jeffrey, if there's one person who decides in any given point what something is worth. I just use a generality of the market. But since it's probably going to be a 50-50 split of the company's shares, the most logical conclusion is the market is going to conclude that the share price will be split in half. But that's just my guess.
I think you're right about that, Tony.
Actually, not the shares are split in half, but the shares are doubled and the ownership of everybody is half here and half there. You know what I mean?
Divided between the two. Ape comes kind of squeeze. That is the question. Diego says, will Ape cause some sort of squeeze? That is the question.
Someone asking if I'm still holding Meagle. No, I got in MEGL at $4 in the pre-IPO, as I told you guys over a week ago. And I sold at 117. I could have sold at 250 or 350, but even at 117, I got a 3,000% gain in 2 days. And I was fine with that. I held a little longer than I wanted to. I mean, I held a little longer than I should have for maximum return, but I was hoping that it was always going to get that tick up, and it didn't. So I finally pulled the ripcord, got out at 117.
Yeah, I heard you that day. I heard that that struggle going on, that inner struggle going on live, and I'm like, get off the live stream and
pull the cord.
Concentrate. Pull the cord. Damn it! Get out. 171. Get out. 163. Oh man. Someone just said, please check the date that we might have to. You have to have bought by the 15th in order to receive by the 19th. Is it possible we said the wrong date by accident?
I keep on seeing that go around, guys. Again, I'm going to direct you to read the press release.
Thomas, good night.
Read the press release. Know what a ex-dividend date is. Look up the definition if you need to. You don't need to believe me. I want you to go look with your own eyes what the press release says. Go look up the definition of the ex-dividend date. Ex-dividend is August 22nd. The press release says that if you buy before the 22nd, you will be entitled to the dividend. And for anyone who thinks that's incorrect, just for all the doubters, I'm going to buy AMC right before the market closes on the 19th in a separate account that holds no AMC. So in a separate broker, so they have no idea I'm a shareholder, because someone said, oh, you're doing that on GameStop. They'll give you the split because they know you're a shareholder, Tony.
So
I'm going to buy it in a completely anonymous account, and I'll show you the trade on the 22nd where I get my APE dividend. That's how sure I am.
Would you mind speaking on which brokerage you're going to use, or is that secret?
I'll do it in a TD Ameritrade because I don't use that for much.
Okay. Maybe I should do the same thing. It's a good idea.
I did the same thing for GameStop. I bought it right before the market closed the night before the split, and I still got the split. So thank you, MC. BioLife Hemp says, in your years in the market, have you ever seen this? I have not. Nope. Congrats to all. BioLife Hemp goes on to say this will be the new play to stop shorts from doing what they do. Toys R Us. Doing what they did to Toys R Us and trying to do to AMC. Hey, BioLife, did you see that Toys R Us is going to have some pop-up stores in Macy's? By the way.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Toys R Us?
Wow. Yeah, they announced it in about 10 different states.
Wow. Interesting.
Go buy that zombie stock now.
Yeah, I thought we were going the other way with retail store openings, but okay. That's a switch. Someone asked if I was still holding the bag on Redbox. I never purchased Redbox. I don't think so. I never bought Redbox. No.
So is it safe to say you're not holding the bag?
No, I'm not. No, never held it. Never held it. Whoever just asked about that, I am not holding the bag. Never was. And yeah, MC, thank you. Oh, and Pantheon's here tonight, by the way. Pantheon, what's up, my brother? I haven't talked to you in forever. So I'll make sure I say hey to Pantheon.
What's up, Pantheon? Tony and Mass, couldn't we run up an AMC and APE, sell AMC for squeeze, then vote APE in common stock? So we could run up, and then at some point, Adam Aaron needs to ask us if we want to vote to convert our APE back into AMC. Yeah, so whenever the company decides to do that. If you vote yes, every APE that everyone holds will immediately convert back to AMC. So that's why I think, and I do think at some point in the future, whether that's next month, a year or 5 years from now, every APE, I think the long-term plan is to convert it back to AMC.
AMC.
And I even heard someone say, and if the company's debt's paid off, then maybe do a reverse split and wipe out all those shares. Hey, this was a tool that we did just to get the debt taken care of. I mean, there's so many permutations of what could happen.
I know. Yeah, if you sell all your AMC shares, you will lose your voting rights. Yes, Nick. Good point. That's correct, right, T? I'm pretty sure.
If you sell your shares of AMC
Yep.
or APE, you're going to lose the
You're gonna
voting
be out.
rights.
Yep.
But
so
both carry voting rights equal.
They both carry weight, right?
Yeah. Was he in Chippendale or was it Teddy? I think they're asking about Pantheon. Pantheon was in Chippendale. That's why he can't show his face now.
Face. Yeah. It's a legal thing.
Moving on.
Yes.
Edward says, if we end at $20, then the 22nd comes and APE is 10, would AMC get shorted to $5? Again, whatever the price of AMC is, this is based on Adam's explanation and my also understanding of how this is probably going to work. Whatever the price of AMC is on the 19th, at the end of the day, I expect they'll divide it in two and apply half to both tickers. So if AMC were at 30, on Monday, AMC would be at 15 and APE would be at 15. You're not going to get any financial advantage selling, shorting. It's just going to divide the company into two bits with equal value.
I might have had to refresh my page here on Marcel. Hold on here. Let's see. Let me blow this up. T, go ahead. I'm going to read this and see. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe this is more important than I think.
Yeah, the esteemed Poopy Pants has a question for us. What is stopping a value swap between APE Unit and AMC during the rollout? I'm going to defer answering that tonight because I just heard someone ask that for the first time the other night, and it's not something that I've looked into. The due diligence that was posted relative to that question regarding the swaps and that particular issue was specific to isolating a return. It was a total return swap. And it's more complicated than I care to explain to you guys. It's taking a neutral position on a stock to just capture a return on something that's paying a fixed rate. I don't want to go into all that tonight, but feel free to drop it in the comments and we can address it later.
This is interesting. Okay, so looking a little deeper into this, you want me to go back to this one sec, Tony? Because it's a little more in depth than I thought.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to this, the SEC, BlackRock has filed with the SEC, basically saying that, basically according to this document, it seems like they would be saying that they're pretty tight for money right now.
BlackRock?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they sold all their AMC.
I mean, being the size that they are, the fact that they're putting this out there tells you something. That's all. I think that's what I'm assuming that's what people were pointing to. And yeah, guys, I mean, this is look, we've been saying there's going to be people in trouble out there. I don't know who it's going to be, but I'm sure a lot of people are in deep doo-doo right now.
Jay Froze says, is a squeeze going to involve both stocks or just AMC after the split? I mean, when I think anyone who's answering that right now would be guessing, I think, because none of us know for sure. But my theory is after the 22nd, that the two stocks will be trading in parity due to, if they don't, there's arbitrage opportunities and the market just simply won't allow that. People will take advantage of it and quickly fix it just through arbitrage. So if there is a squeeze after the 22nd, I think it would involve both. But that's just my guess right now, and I reserve the right to change my answer as I have future discussions on that with other folks. I'm focusing really, guys, right now on what is going to happen between now and the end of business on the 19th. not what happens after. I'm that bullish on this scenario right now, a run up by the 19th. If I'm wrong, then I'm going to start looking at other scenarios. What's next?
Jennifer says Al from Boston was saying a certain amount of apes would have to buy 100K of ape.
We're not going
Any
to talk about,
thoughts?
guys, we're not going to talk about clickbait channel stuff here. Go ask him your questions. Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't comment on his videos, but that should tell you everything you need to know, Jennifer, about Al from Boston.
We spend our entire day correcting FUD off of some of these channels, and I'd ask you to go redirect it back to him in the comments. Oh shit, he doesn't have comments turned on. Damn.
Right. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Diego, that's what it was. Yo, Massalorian, wouldn't this split make AMC easier to short? That's what it was. With as the same as ape. Tony, can I control the inside chat, the one that everyone can see? No, right?
No.
Okay. But I should have the same exact thing on the outside chat, correct? A mirror, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if you can scroll it.
That's my problem, right? Yeah, I can't move. So if I missed the comment, yeah, I know. I that's what it is. I was spoiled being a moderator. Yeah, that's what it was. That sucks. Okay. I was spoiled. Shit. So I can't even get that question out. But would it make that easier for them to short? So if they're splitting, Tony, if on the 22nd that these are going to be basically divided in two, then no, right? And also, what did we say earlier on the phone? We talked about the shorts a little bit.
Would it make it easier for them to short because the price comes down?
Yeah. Yes.
No, their total obligation is not going to change. Just half the value of the company is moving to a different ticker.
To a different ticker. Right.
The dollar amount they are short to the percentage of the company they are short is not going to change. And I know we're gonna have to keep on saying this for a few days over and over, but just think about what I'm saying. The amount they owe as a percentage of the company and the percent they owe as the percentage of the company will not change. The company is splitting into two tickers. It does not give them any advantage that one ticker dropped by half because the other half of value just moved over to the right to a different ticker. Nothing changed for them. Nothing became more advantageous for a short
or anything. Right. Yep. Dana said Mass was stripped of all his powers. That's what I feel like. I feel like a beaten superhero, you know, kryptonite around my neck. Someone was just asking about, I think, options for the 19th to 22nd. So, guys, we don't even know. We won't know that until the middle of next week.
Yeah.
We haven't even heard anything on that yet. Tony reached out to the CBOE. Yeah. Sorry.
Rewind this video to you have the presentation up with the screen that says options. We covered all that already. Edward says, if we convert 516 million apes into AMC, wouldn't that be 1 billion shares? I mean, there's going to be 1 billion shares, guys, 1.3 billion.
Yeah, that's coming.
516 million AMC, 516 million apes. If you convert them, I mean, that is a total of 1.3 billion. Mm-hmm. There's no getting around that. If you convert, it just puts it all back under one ticker. Nothing changes.
Someone says, what will everyone's average be for ape?
That would be like a reverse split if we convert. If he never added any more apes,
right?
If this is a split similar, and we convert, it would be like a reverse split.
Pretty much.
You'd take half the value, put it back over here, and the price would double of AMC.
Double. Yep. Pretty much. Yeah, guys, I don't know where this penny number is coming from either.
I know where it came from. From clickbait channels. Yeah.
Yeah.
The clickbaiters, the experts on Wall Street, the MBA Harvard folks, and the walk in the park dudes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Those guys. Yeah, there are rules and regulations.
The best we got in this community.
The best we got. The best of the best. They are the Rangers. They are a cross between the Rangers, the Seals, and the Green Berets.
Anyone, does Toys R Us have a stock symbol? I don't know if they do anymore or not. I think
Yeah, I don't know, Silverback.
might be a graveyard, one of those graveyard zombie stocks.
Yeah, remember, guys, the exchanges have rules and regulations. You have to have at least a minimum of somewhere between $4 and $5 in order to list a something on the exchanges. So they don't let you mess around with 1 penny. Was the Susquehanna margin call yesterday fake news, Mark? Yes, I believe so.
The thumbnail is bad, but I'm here. That's my fault.
R3 Drift. I let Tony do it tonight because I was on hiatus and I wanted him to have full control tonight coming in. So he did thumbnail. He's doing the chat. He's doing it all. And I appreciate it because it's a lot of work. So thank you, T.
Was Susquehanna margin call yesterday fake news? As far as I know, from anybody
Yes.
that followed up on it, yeah. As far as I know. Where's Dana? I see Pantheon trying to answer Dana.
Yeah, something she said wrong or something. Or she thought wrong. And then 801 Ape Nation is asking the same question over and again. Tony Mask.
Here we go. Is it true that the preferred equity stocks such as APE can only go to $25? No.
No, who said that?
I don't
even want to know. Don't even tell us, Dana. Don't even tell us who said it.
Oh, you're wondering
Don't
who
even
told
tell us.
Dana that?
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't
I
even
got
want to
the
know. I
answer.
really don't want to know.
I got the
No,
answer.
I don't want to know.
The best we got in this community probably told me.
Pantheon just said that.
I don't know. I mean,
That's
I
my
honestly,
dog.
I try not to listen to those channels, but there becomes a time where I get asked too many times to verify info. I got to go hear what they said myself, but God dang, it's painful. Doc Zeno says people don't understand par number. Yet they say this is their world, Doc Zeno. It's my world. Don't know what a par value is, but trust me, bro. Woo!
I'm working on a great video for you guys about this whole nonsense. So hopefully it'll be done tomorrow. Oh, really?
I don't know if that's true, but Toy RF.
Let me find out.
Someone says, when it squeezes, do we have to sell both APE and AMC? Look, my hope is, who is that? Money Man? My God,
yes.
What is the phrase I'm trying to say? I
don't know.
My
the
prayer
ticker symbol's correct though.
that we squeeze before we have the APE. But yes, if it doesn't happen before the 22nd, you will need to sell both at the same time. Yes.
See, this is how this should happen. There's Danny and Dana. Where'd you hit that $25 limit from? And then this is how we get on these things. All of a sudden, it's a game of telephone, and next thing you know, it's Dana. It's only $25. Go on a date with Dana. By the time we get to the end of it, with Al from Boston. So.
All right, we got someone here that says we're wrong about APE voting power. AMC and AMC common and preferred are equal voting power. Well, all right. Before I answer that, I'm going to keep on reading. I know Pantheon's already screaming at his TV, but APE is 1/100th of an AMC preferred share. So one APE is 1/100th of a vote. All right, Pantheon, do you want to answer them or should I? I'll leave that up there while I look for the next question. That your premise is incorrect is the most gentle way I can say that.
So the number was $25, right? The preferred equity can't go past $25. That was according to Investopedia, apparently, or supposedly.
What about $25?
That's what Dana was asking, right? That it can't. It's got a cap on it. Any preferred equity.
That's what it seemed like she is saying. I don't know who is saying that.
That's saying it was Investopedia.
Food Dog, I was going to say, who wants to answer it in the chat? Food Dog gave it a stab, but that is also incorrect. Food Dog he said preferred stock has no voting power. In this case, guys, our preferred stock does have voting power, although that is not common. So the answer, because maybe I hope Pantheon's not writing an answer and I steal his thunder, but our preferred stock each one share of preferred stock is equivalent to 100 shares of common stock. Okay. So in order to equate it to common stock, you have to divide that preferred stock by 100. And that is how you get 100 APEs from one share of preferred stock. That is how they filed to convert 10 million preferred to 1 billion APEs. This is all in the paperwork. And each one of those APEs will have one vote because one preferred equals 100 common stock. So this, what is on the screen, is not correct. APE is 1/100th of a preferred share, but that is correct. But common and preferred do not have equal voting power because preferred is 100 times the value of a common stock.
Okay, so you want to hear something interesting, and I don't know if this still applies to today, but apparently, according to this article from the New York Times from April 9th of 1978, whoa, talk about way back, says in the past, preferred stocks generally were sold at prices close to $100 a share, and they appealed mainly to corporations seeking investments. Since the high yield period of 1979, however, many companies have reduced their per share price of preferreds to the $25 range or even lower in an effort to increase their appeal to individual investors.
I'm going to tell you, Massalorian, and anyone listening, the same thing I typed in my Discord today to the good folks in there. I want you to ignore anything you read about preferred stock on Investopedia or anything you see on the internet when people are quoting Investopedia or Google, because there are many multitude of ways that AMC preferred stock is different than the standard definitions. Number one, we have voting rights. Number two, there's no fixed dividend tied to our stock, our preferred stock. Number three, as far as I know, there's no embedded options in our preferred stock. I would just say, this is what got the GameStop people in trouble, looking up the word dividend and thinking they had the split dividend figured out because they could look up the explanation, the definition of dividend, which was correct. And everything you read about preferred stock on Investopedia is correct, but you need to go read about our preferred stock. And that requires more work. So I'm not allowing people to quote just blindly from Investopedia on preferred stock. They need to go dig into the documents before we can have a discussion. AMC specific documents.
John says Adam Aaron described it as a dividend. Yeah, it was a bad description, right, John?
Whiskey Wood says, you guys ever wonder how many of these questions are well-intentioned? I think they're most of them are well-intentioned.
For the most part.
But most of them are because people have sown confusion on Twitter, Reddit, and other YouTube channels. And people just are in a search for the truth, and inherently they know what they were told was wrong.
Hey, Casey Shaw in the house. Good evening, my friend. Dana said, Tony, that's why I was asking.
Pantheon says, hang on, did I miss something here? Food Dog, you're correct, but the IPO allows the board to change that. What did I miss? Oh, yeah. Typically, preferred has no voting rights. That is correct. Typically, it does not. But ours does. And there are many things about AMC Preferred that are different. Pantheon and I were chatting about that earlier today. Pantheon says, Food Dog, read the IPO from 2013 on page 33. Pantheon, if you wouldn't mind for the folks, can you, if you have it handy there, let them know what date to look for if they're scrolling through the AMC website on investor relations, looking at all the filings, and there's a bunch from 2013. What date should they look for? Coinbase now in bed with BlackRock. I would encourage you guys to go watch in my crypto playlist, the BlackRock video I did 2 or 3 months ago telling you guys this was coming. And there's more coming than what you've heard this week. This is a long-term game plan. And that was no surprise to me about Coinbase and BlackRock. They have multiple tentacles and other plans coming before the end of the year. More secrets revealed in that video 2 or 3 months ago. You might find interesting. All right. Tony, the document, AMC Holdings announces special dividend. It says AMC shares held at the close of business on 8/15 receive the dividend. Are you quoting? It says, I need you to quote the exact sentence or tell me which one we're looking at. I'm looking at the press release and the ex-dividend date. Just go to the document you're looking at and tell me what is the ex-dividend date. That's really all you need to know. Sell Highcroft, buy AMC. I don't know. Don't know. RK, good night. Thank you for tuning in. 801 Ape Nation, what's up? Tony Amass, couldn't we run up in AMC and APE? Sell AMC for squeeze, then vote APE in as common stock. I'll never have to buy back in, which was my plan. What do you guys think? Couldn't we run up in AMC and APE? Sell AMC for the squeeze. If you run up in AMC and APE and then you sell AMC only, then you're in essence only selling half of your run up. Because I think both will run up. And your question is both will run up. So that would be like if AMC ran up to 1,000 and you said, you know what, I'm going to be out at 500. So if it runs up, I think both will run and I will sell both. And then when they both come back down, I'll buy back in for my forever hold because I love the movies. And at some point they'll say, all right, we got that out of the way. Let's convert them back to AMC shares.
You know, I got to ask real quick while I'm here. Has anyone, because it's been a little while, and I don't know, well, I'll say this at least. I did, just so anyone knows, my phone ended up in the drink on Saturday night, so I haven't been able to see anyone's chats or anything. Has anyone talked to like Pam or I'm just, this just popped in my head. I'm thinking like some of the mods, Adrian or like Stacia. Anyone? Has anyone talked to any of them? Are they all okay?
He said, has anyone talked to Pam?
Pam, Stacia. I'm trying to think of some other people.
Oh, yeah. Pam's still been around.
Okay.
Haven't seen Stacia recently. Diaz is always around. Javi's around. Pam was in my live stream the other day.
Good.
Not sure about Stacia. I'm sure she's still around. She's a busy girl.
Yes. So make sure everyone's healthy and okay. That's all. See people missing. What?
Someone's flashing nipples to me. Stay tuned for if we go over 70, I'll flash mine back. Whether you want to see it or not.
It's coming either way?
Yes, it's coming either way. All right, it's already been promised.
So by Ape Supper, guys, by Ape Guys, Second Supper, really would like your point of view. Do you know what the Second Supper means? I want to answer this question, but I'm not sure what Second Supper is. I'm thinking like Lord of the Rings for some reason, but I know that's not what he's talking about.
New guy, just send him a regular chat, a regular question, and I'll make sure we get it up. But try and clarify a little bit.
And MC was talking about CPI for tomorrow. Have you talked about CPI tonight at all?
CPI comes out, I think, at 8:30 Eastern tomorrow, and I think the expectation is around 8.7. So, yeah, we'll be watching it. It's going to potentially set market direction for the rest of the week if it is not what people are expecting.
Man, I feel like it was just yesterday we got the last CPI report. That went fast.
I know. Time flies.
Man, I mean, unbelievable how fast that went by. Okay, so we're looking to come down about 4 percentage points. Those are estimates we're talking about right now. According to the latest analysis, they're expecting we're going to be down from 9.1 in June to 8.7. Should be a 0.4% drop.
Yep. Pantheon says Adam Aaron is not going to create a new ticker called APE and screw over 4.3 million individual retails. If I had the applause button available on Restream Pantheon, I would give you a round of applause.
May I also give you a golf
Could not
clap.
agree more. Anybody who's saying otherwise is straight up clickbait fear mongering, ping ponging you for emotions, ping ponging you to make you come back, or, basically being paid off to get you to sell so the shorts can cover cheap, or they're short, as far as I'm concerned, or they just don't have good comprehension skills.
Annie says,
sorry if that was harsh.
Thank you, Pantheon. Annie said, Mass, that was his second chat. Yes, so new guy, make sure you write in the comments. I'm gonna be scouring
I think he
right
meant
now looking.
Second super chat, not second supper.
Oh, Jesus. Second supper. Is that what I said? Second supper?
It did say supper. I'm still looking for him to type it again.
My brain's fried. Sorry, guys.
I'm so far behind on the chats. I'm looking for him. Hang on.
I can't believe I said second supper.
I'm like, I'm feeling like Pantheon.
Maybe I need to eat
much
something.
Much love, brother, but I can't catch up on the chat.
Unbelievable. I did say second supper because I thought it was Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
It said supper.
Oh, it did say supper? So I read it right. It wasn't the way I read it. It was okay.
He said, new guy says, drove over my phone plus spelling his shit. New guy, can you type the question one more time and don't super chat? Because we don't need a third supper.
I'm getting pulled here in every direction. I got Jenna laughing at me. Casey's laughing at me. Saying no comprehension. Jeez, getting attacked.
Clark has a good question. Do you want to take first whack at that one?
Sure. So Clark, how you doing tonight? Clark said, why did Aaron wait so long to issue the APE share? How is this different from GameStop stock split? It's not too different from GameStop stock split. No. In reality, we're not. Besides, well,
I think very different.
Well, in what sense?
We got a whole new ticker.
Well, that's okay. That's true, right? But we're not causing any dilution by this.
No options chain
as of yet, right?
That we know of. I mean, yeah, maybe next week we'll get new info, but
we'll get news.
And limited supply.
Well, the only way I'm saying that it's similar is because it's not a dividend, right? And there's no dilution to it. So in those two ways, they're similar.
Neither one was really a dividend in terms of what we receive, right?
Right.
But with a separate ticker that doesn't have options on it and everything doesn't just split, it creates this demand for the shorts to have to go find something they're not receiving.
Right.
And that was the hole in GameStop's plan. When GameStop split, everything split, including the shorts.
Right.
And they don't have that option to get the APE dividend, the APE unit.
With APE,
in this case.
Why do you think he waited so long? Do you think he tried to time it with earnings? Because I mean, couldn't he
knew about
he could
it
have
for
probably
a while.
done this? Well, yeah, that's okay. That's one thing, right? He could have known about this all the way back to maybe the end of the winter, beginning of spring. You think that far back?
Here's going to be my stupid, simple guess.
Go ahead.
Do you know how many lawyers it took to draw up all those papers?
Probably a ton, probably.
Yeah.
So it probably took a while, right?
I think the legal review
Mm-hmm.
and the meetings
Mm-hmm.
and the and revisions and all of that and the filings, all of that probably had something to do with it.
Okay.
That's just my
Okay.
simple guess. You know, usually the simplest answer
Is the correct one. Yeah.
is the correct one. Yeah.
True. Why is Trey pumping VRM? Tonight's the first time we've heard of it, to be honest with you. We just started talking about it tonight. Whoever just made that comment. Sorry. I can't see who you
I mean,
are.
I
but
don't know. I have no problem if he pumps whatever he wants to. I talk about other tickers all the time. Go ask him why he's pumping it. He'll get no judgment from me. He can talk
Me
about
neither.
whatever stocks he wants. There's literally like 5,000 stocks, and I buy a lot of them every day.
Sunchi Adventure says thoughts on CPI data tomorrow. We're looking like we're going to come down a little bit, but remember, supper man. Remember, we're taking into account now that we've had a huge amount of oil reserves released that have helped with bringing gas prices down that are very temporary. So, if we're seeing a huge flux in that price, we know why. That's not going to be long term. That's very short term. I think it's 3 months, and we're already halfway through the second one. So, talking about those 6 weeks. That number's going to be back to normal. And then wait for the unemployment numbers to come out. That might even be bigger than CPI data.
Colin's asking.
Serious layoffs.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Colin's asking, would halt stop the momentum on a run up with AMC? I mean, it depends on what's driving the halt. If it's shorts covering, it might not. But every time there's a halt, there's a risk that retail panics and pulls the ripcord and sells. So I don't like to see halts. I'd much prefer a gentle slope up, not a rip, so that we don't trigger that 10% in 5 minutes. But look, we live through halts on many plays every week, and you never know what's going to happen next. There's always a chance it could stop the momentum. I'd be lying if I said it couldn't, but I've seen plenty of stocks rip up through multiple halts too. So all depends on what's driving it. Tamir says, I got one super from Tamir. Thoughts on Meagle craze and the VIX. Meagle was a good play if you got in on it early. I did 2 or 3 videos on it a week ago, Tamir, when you could still buy it pre-IPO. That was the time to get in at $4. I said after that, if you weren't in pre-IPO, you're kind of on your own. And I also said sell it as soon as you're happy with whatever profit you can get, whether that's 10%, 100%, 1,000%. That's on you. You know what you're happy with. I got out with 3,000% gain in 2 days, and that worked for me.
Not bad.
As far as the VIX, I honestly don't play the VIX, so I don't have any. I don't have any thoughts on it. I don't even look at it most days. Call me
Kim
crazy.
says,
I'm busy looking at other tickers.
Touche. Kim said, Mass, I was thinking of moving out of New York City and buying in Westerly, Rhode Island. Thanks for all you guys do. 100% Kimley, get out of NYC. And if you get to Westerly, look us up. For sure.
G Money, do I think they'll dilute APE stock? At some point, I think they will. Yeah. Covered in the beginning of this video, guys. Please go back and watch. If you're just joining in, go back and watch the slide deck. We went over all the basic questions and tried to do it as quick as possible to respect your time.
You get a little bit of time, we'll put it that way. But go back and definitely listen to that part. But you got some time.
Do we know what % of the float needs to be held by retail for synthetics to be out there? I mean, what did Adam Aaron say we owe Mass? 90%?
90% from the last, when was that? That was end of April, beginning of May.
And the institutions own another 30 or 40%. So, I mean, there are synthetics. There's no doubt.
No doubt about it. We're talking about 140%, I think, or somewhere close to that.
Beyond that, you know, I would only be speculating beyond that. I haven't seen any. Nobody's provided me the definitive proof. We all have our suspicions. I totally agree with many of them, and there probably are a lot more synthetics than we know about. But I can't speculate to you on the quantity.
Someone said Teddy made a good point about halts. Megal had lots of bits in there where 2 successions or $1 price difference, which doesn't make much sense. I know I wasn't following as closely as you guys were.
Every halt on
but
Megal was 10% within 5
it
minutes.
was.
Yeah, I mean, I also saw people say, "Why didn't Megal halt?" And meanwhile, I've got a bot on my Discord pumping out halts every 5 minutes, and I got a whole log of them. Like, people see sometimes what they, they imagine what they're seeing, but the reality is halts are programmed into the market, guys. If it moves 10% in 5 minutes, it's going to halt. That's it. It's that simple. There are a couple of borderline times, depending, there is some rules that I'm happy to post for you if you want to go decipher the formula of what they consider the starting price of the 5 minutes and the ending price. It's complicated. And it's not really even worth knowing, because the amount of times I've seen it come into play where it looked like it moved 10% and it didn't halt is like once in a year. And of course, it happened to be on AMC. But,
on AMC, right?
Yeah. But it's not as simple as
ever.
It's not as simple as the price we see on the chart. There is a formula for how they decide the starting and ending price of a period, and it's too complicated to explain here. But I'm happy to post a link if anybody really cares. I mean, it's really not worth caring about as infrequently as it comes up.
Liz Clayman's whistle says, unless it's HKD with a mad face. No option chain, no halts.
Why do halts have to be Why do stocks have to be halted now? That is more of a good question, but a lot of the halting rules go back to the .com crash.
And emotions.
For your protection.
Right.
For the protection of the markets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rich Smith made some money off of iLag. Good job, buddy. That was a good play too.
Nice, Rich. Tony, you going live tomorrow, speaking of?
I mean, if today was just a shit day, I was up watching the market since 5:30 in the morning, and there wasn't anything going on. The runners that were pre-market were all dog penny stocks, which, I don't have any interest in trying to capture a 40% gain on a 13-cent stock. Too risky. And the IPO FRZA, that is tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, someone asked about that in the chat.
Yeah, I shared my thoughts on that in the Discord. I'm not going to talk about it tonight, but I'll be watching it tomorrow just in case. One to keep your eye on. I did not pre-buy FRZA.
JCT said, "What broker is better than TD?" So JCT, I don't know that we would maybe even say one is better than the other, but I think as far as not using PFOF, TD and Fidelity are pretty good as long as you're using Active Trader Pro and Fidelity. Much better than Robinhood or Webull for your options for retail.
Would I host a post-MOAS party in Austin? Absolutely. No hesitation. Maybe we can join up with Lou in Dominican Republic.
Punta Cana? Yeah, we could take the private jet.
First we'll do Austin. I'm pretty sure we have direct flights to Punta Cana.
We can private jet down there. Right down there. Oh, Jim has a great question, Tony. How are you buying pre-market IPOs?
It's covered in my videos on Meagle, MEGL, but basically the ones that we've been targeting, you can reserve them in the IPO center on Webull. That was literally the only place you could get these. You could request a dollar amount, whether it's 100, 500, 1,000. They don't guarantee that they're going to fulfill the entire amount. Many people requested 10, 20, 100 shares and got one. But would you be too butthurt if you got one or two and you got a 3,000% return?
No.
It would have been nicer to get 100. Would have been nicer to get 100, but I mean, it was still a good play.
Yep. Grandpa Barney, I love you as well. Thank you, Grandpa Barney. I appreciate the glue money. Much love.
The Bruta says, in a breakfast of eggs and ham, the chicken is interested, but the pig is committed. When it comes to AMC, the shorts are the pigs. We are the chickens. The pig is kind of committed right now. Let's hope he gets slaughtered, Bruta.
Yes. Cut his head off. Someone said they just transferred finally from out of Robinhood. Darthman25. Good job, man. No one's judging you. No one's judging you. And you don't even have to close your accounts necessarily. But if you want to get away from PFOF, because apparently right now the SEC is not that concerned with it, is not on the top of their priority list. They are worried at the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, about climate change. So let's not bother them with payment for order flow and just get off any trading broker that's taking advantage of that.
I will say, for those asking about FRZA, we're talking electric. Here's my due diligence 30-second snapshot for you.
Go.
Momentum play only, small float. I have no idea what it's going to do. You're talking a $150,000 electric boat company that's not going to start production until 2025. So keep that in mind. This is not a buy and hold. This is not a, I don't know what it's going to go up to. I don't even know if it's going to run. I have no plans to buy it pre-IPO. I could have. I opted not to. I'll watch it in the morning.
What are we talking about when you say small float? How small are we talking?
What were we talking about? What?
Small float, you said on FRZA?
Small float IPO. Yeah, I mean, those have been what's been popping lately. But now everyone thinks every small float IPO is going to pop. And
It's going to run.
I'm going to have to watch FRZA and see if that's the case. But hopefully it does for some people. If it does, I will certainly jump in. But I did not pre-IPO it. We did not get the bat signal from the boys in Hong Kong.
No, we didn't. Jaspreet Sandhu says, can you answer my question? I've asked a couple of times, if you don't mind. Jaspreet, you're going to have to put it back in, and I will look for it, my friend, as Tony goes along here. I'll keep my eye open for it, write it in as soon as possible. So basically, Food Dog says, page 144 of AMC IPO says issuing preferred shares gives management the ability to do whatever with preferred stock. Yeah, so we talked about... Yes.
I don't know if Pantheon's still around, but I think... No, I don't even want to say this. This really gets...
What?
He's got plenty.
His tinfoil hat?
First of all, I'm going to preface this by saying he's got plenty of APE units with the $1 billion that he's converting. The $1 billion. He's only filed for $1 billion. I don't think he'll ever need more. But the way the preferred share thing looks like it was worded to me is they reserve the right to, at any point in the future, without any authorization from the common stockholders, to issue themselves 50 million more preferred units. It's basically an anti-takeover provision. Those are their ace in the hole from having the company get into a hostile takeover. So that's their real purpose. But they came up with a temporary creative use for some of them. So it's almost not worth mentioning. I don't want to get people, oh, Tony said they're going to create another 5 billion. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just crazy. It's crazy what they can do with those preferred shares. And we never really have looked into it till he sprung this on us. Did I sell my Meagle? Yes, I sold for 3,000% gain and 2 trading days.
T, do you see Jaspreet's question? It should be in purple paired from your channel.
Jaspreet?
Yeah. Yep, there you go.
Go ahead.
What do you think of AMC pushing to ATH to make people sell before dividend is released? Hedge funds would need real AMC shares from people to clear their books. What's your opinion on that? Yeah, that is correct, right? The hedge funds would need real shares.
That's the thing we're most excited about.
Yeah, I mean, we're banking on that being what's going to push us in the right direction, right, Jaspreet? We're hoping that, yeah. Yep. And by the way, someone asked about numbers, letters question. Did we get to answer his question? Or did we just figure out that I said the word wrong?
New guy, I've been looking for him to repeat the question. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Yeah, Judy, if you know if he's still out there and he has the question, I do want to answer it for him, of course. Yeah, absolutely, Jaspreet. Appreciate you, man.
Eric, you're making it too complicated, brother. The math doesn't work in what you're saying.
Oh, this is the same thing from earlier, right? The 80 and 80?
The 160% thing,
Yeah.
sell APE and buy AMC. They're going to be, in my best guess, Eric, they're going to be the exact same thing. The company divided in half. You're not going to gain any advantage buying one to sell the other.
Joseph says, some people are waiting for thousands. However, I think if they run it from 2 to 300, 99% of the people will sell and not come back. That's my assumption, says Joseph. It's an interesting take, Joseph. All right, here we go. Here's a good one from Gus. How you doing tonight, Gus? Want to talk about this? Honest
Which one?
opinion? Right, the one on the screen, Gus. He's stuck in Megal.
Yeah, we'll look at that one in a. Oh yeah, Gus. I'm trying to see where Meagle's at. $12.
$12.
I mean, guys, I want you getting out when the chart turns down. And it turned down. It turned down at 216. I know Teddy was saying it was going to 1,000 or whatever. I tried to say 100 times in my videos on Meagle, get in and get out. Don't listen to unrealistic price targets. As soon as you're happy with the profit, get out. And now we're in the unfortunate situation, just like many other stocks that are pumped by people with unreasonable price targets, that there are bag holders. And I'm always going to be overly cautious and tell you, get out as soon as you see it turn for your own safety. I have no idea if it could run again. I doubt it. Most of these Chinese IPO stocks, once they go down, they eventually end up going down below the IPO price. So I would guess, just my guess, Meagle's headed sub $4. Just a guess. Can't predict the future. There's nothing special about these companies other than they were targeted for a quick squeeze.
By the way, Tony, he said he DM'd you. Where's that message? He said he did send you a DM. New guy did. And new guy, you can send it to me as well on Twitter at Massalorian. And Gus, I'm sorry that you're stuck in Megal, man. I know they really pumped it up and amped it up with a $2,500 number or $2,000 number. And, I don't know if those people got out at 200 at the top there or if they sold on the way down, but I'm sorry you're in that position right now. It sucks.
I was live streaming. I don't know what channel he was on, but I was live streaming, talking through my whole selling process, my evaluation, and I clearly said when I sold. And, obviously you guys need to do what you think is best. I don't want you copying when I sell. It could have run up. And I said that, I might be missing a run back up to 250, but I'm just watching the chart go down, 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 down. I just finally pulled the cord at 117. If you get out with a little bit of a loss, take that as a lesson. That's all you can do.
Farmstead. Hello. Good stuff. Cali Bro Bear.
I got new guys DM here. It says, I'm really doubtful if no one is interested in buying before the dividend to cover. Why would they after we would have to see a lot of missing APE deliveries? Really doubtful no one is interested in buying before the dividend to cover. Why would they after? I think that's a fair question. I'm not doubtful that they're interested in buying before, but I do understand your question. If they don't clean it up before, why would they need to buy it after? It's ultimately going to come down to, are we going to have millions of retail investors screaming they didn't get their dividend because of billions of synthetic shares and the float rehypothecated? Either that's happening or it's not. I think this is one of the best chances we have to expose that. What do you think, Mass?
That's what I'm most optimistic about, right?
I'm going to put this in a chat to you so you can read it yourself.
Yeah, and new guy, if you don't have it, it's at Massalorian. Got it. To cover, why would they after? We would have to see a lot of missing APE deliveries, right? Yeah, and we might see that, right? What's going on here? Someone stole Melania Trump's negligee? The FBI? Did you see that? Desperate boys, huh? And now we got the DOJ investigating the FBI. What the hell's going on? Insanity out there. Boy, I can't wait to get on a political live stream some night. Oy, oy. They did a panty raid, yes. Yeah, thank you, MC, man. Really, thank you so much for everything. So, can apes get rehypothecated fast enough to make it look like we all have apes? No, because they're going to be in they're going to be in immediately the next day, right? There's going to be no time for that. I heard so far Canada doesn't get their apes till the 24th. Why would that be?
I mean, there are some unknowns. People are asking about rehypothecation and shorting. I mean, those are things that we're working on answers to. I don't know that I have a good answer for that just yet.
Yeah, I can come back on that too. I'm trying to look into it right now, but I'm not finding anything with Canada in the search. Yeah. We'll have to come back around with that, like Jen Psaki. So Lorenda says, if I do not want APE, can I not just sell AMC before the 22nd and then the 23rd buy back into AMC and get it at half price, therefore doubling my shares of AMC? That's kind of similar to what someone asked before, right?
That's kind of what Eric was asking. You could get it at half price, but you're buying 1/4 of the company now.
Right.
You'd have to buy 2 AMC to get back to where you were. So you're not really saving anything.
You got double up. You got double up. Right. Right. So at the end of the day, you're not saving anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just one step left, one step right. You didn't get over on anybody.
Nope.
This is the confusing part. People think, oh, well, AMC is going to drop in half. The company valuation is not dropping in half. Half of it is moving to a different ticker.
Correct.
That is why the price is dropping.
Yep. Exactly. Right. San Diego Laundromat says, do you think APE and AMC will trade at the same price? Yes, more likely, right? They will trace each other.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, we'll find out on the 22nd, but logic would dictate, to me anyways, considering that an APE eventually could be converted back to an AMC share, that they should trade in parity.
And what did we have for that number again, Tony? You said it was a total of 10 million, right?
Are you talking about the preferred shares?
Mm-hmm.
10 million preferred shares have been filed to be converted into 1 billion apes.
Okay.
Of which 516 million will be distributed to us.
Right.
Jay Fro says
it's confusing with this wording, I tell you.
It's lunacy to now have 2 tickers, unless it's genius. And it literally could be the unknown catalyst. If the thesis is correct that they will have trouble or fear of paying back that dividend, which they are not going to get a distribution of. If you are short or you have rehypothecated the share or loaning it out over and over and over to multiple people, only one of them is going to get the dividend and none of the shorts are going to get it, but they're going to owe it. So although it is very complicated, just take a chill pill, give it a chance to work, trust the process. I know a lot of you don't want to trust Adam Aron, and I'm not telling you need to or not, but we're doing our best to explain it to you of how it could work if there are synthetics, and if they are correct that they have no other way to get their hands on this dividend, I mean, maybe they'll figure something out. Someone is asking about why can't they just rehypothecate the dividend? Well, maybe they can. I don't know. We need to think and talk about that one. It is a good question.
There's a lot of scenarios we haven't even considered yet, right, guys? So someone said, by the way, Anthony, congratulations on your baby. That's excellent. Someone said,
who had a baby?
Anthony has a baby due
at
the end of October. Congrats, man. Yeah. Hopefully that'll be me someday too. We need this MOAS. Someone said, oh, I was gonna say, it's almost like that's what really GME would have been nice if we had for GME, right? If we had that along with the 4-for-1.
It would have been nice, yeah. Unfortunately, the crack team of financial experts at AMC came up with a better plan. Ooh.
Yeah. Surprising, right? Surprising, yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Yucca. Guy Delkin says, thoughts on CPI number tomorrow? Hey, if we're coming down a little bit, I think those numbers are going to be a little deceiving. But if they look good on paper, then the market should respond in kind. And hopefully we'll have a green day tomorrow, right? I'm not looking for bad numbers. Why can't they
just give a real dividend? I think in general, most... this is just my understanding. Most state laws, and probably I've been looking for the state law in Delaware, but in general, you got to have two things. Forget about debt covenants for a second, but generally you also need cash, which AMC has, and generally you need to have positive retained earnings, which we do not have. So I'm not going to say there's never any way around all three of those things: debt covenants, debt covenants, yeah. Restrictions from the liens that we have is one thing. Cash we have. And I think that the fact that we have negative retained earnings is probably also a holdup.
Big time. That's our biggest holdup. Right? Wouldn't you say?
As far as I mean, in most cases, those are the criteria that you have to have. I'm not going to say 100% because someone will find an example where someone paid out a dividend with a company that had negative retained earnings, but generally that is the case.
Someone said a live with actual video of the two people I'm listening to. What I'm trying to think. When was the last time you had a live with people without people on with pictures? Has it been a while? Oh, Sunday night? Did you maybe Sundays? I don't know. Usually we're always on here on video. What was the other thing? Oh, someone asked about why the move. Is some personal things. I'll probably talk about it soon, Sunchi. But just had to do with a couple things that happened in my personal life. I'm on the run. And Liz, thank you for offering to raise a child for me. I appreciate that. Yes, the brick behind me is real over my shoulder. It is. Finally, we've got some real brick.
Look at that. Yeah, and that's not even the final setup. It already looks snazzy.
No. Yeah, that's just gonna be that's just temporary for just the next couple of days while we watch this thing play out. I had to get this up and running as soon as possible. So I'm gonna believe me, man, the last 9 days I've been out of this, there's been so much crazy stuff going on. Everyone's going nuts, and I'm like, oh man, all I can do is go on the live streams and chat a little bit and say, hey guys, good morning, and then that's it. And then I'm back to painting and putting up walls and dropping fans and yeah, I'm running for those 80,000 IRS engines and their 12 million bullets. Right, exactly. You know it. No capital gains, no taxes for you. Fix PFOF.
Do I think AMC will stay above 20 before the 19th? I think, Gus, that it's going to go much higher than where we're at. Now, whether or not I'm right, I can't promise you. it all, if our thesis about shorts wanting to cover and rehypothecation is correct, that's the if. If that's correct, I think there'll be more buying pressure. Is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be next week? I can't promise you that. If it doesn't happen, well, look, these are our thesis right now, and it could be incorrect. Adam Aaron also thinks that this is a workable plan. He could be incorrect, but the plan is the plan, and we're going to all find out together.
Yeah. We're going to all be exposed to the information at the same time. And how far in are we at now? 2 hours and 50 minutes in?
Yeah. Have you paid yourself by running an ad yet today?
I did run one ad. Yes, I did.
You got a couple electronics to pay for. You should go ahead and insert one more and make another $2.
Okay. If you want, we can even start over. CSI just joined us and he wants to go back to the beginning. You want to just rewind back to 9:30 and start over again? I can get a bunch of ads in. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, I'm going to do that real quick. See if I can get an ad in. Hang on one second. This is hard.
What's up, CSI? Yeah. There is a quick presentation, CSI, in the beginning. We tried to do it as quickly as possible to be respectful of people's time. And so you might want to rewind and watch that. And then now we're just doing Q&A and hanging out. I'm not going to stay on too much longer though, Mass, because I do plan on getting up early for pre-market, and it's already 11:30 here.
I am too. I'm not gonna run another commercial right now. I'm just gonna keep going because we're probably gonna stay on for another 30 minutes, maybe.
No, I was thinking like 6 more minutes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Early for me, ideally, is 4:30 or 5 in the morning. So I'm looking at 5 hours sleep right now if we stop at 11:30, and I know I'm going to be up another hour after we get done.
Jim, yeah, I know, T. I know. I'm gonna be up with you tomorrow. So, Jim, if you didn't get the notification, sorry. Just make sure you put the bells on for me and Tony, and you should get at least one of us because whenever we're collabing, both of us get sent out to our Twitters and to our YouTube channel pages. So, as long as you have the buttons on for me and T, you should get at least one of us with a notification. Hopefully.
Jason asking, am I going to be live tomorrow morning? If there's anything popping, Jason, if I'm sitting here trading, I will. Today I got up, looked at the landscape, watched it almost all the way to the bell opening, and quickly realized that today was going to be a shit day. Not just because AMC was going down, but because there were literally not any really good solid plays. I'm not looking for my day trading. I'm not looking for a stock that's moving up 6% in a day. We had a great day. What was it? Monday?
Yeah.
Monday and Friday was stocks moving 50, 60, 1,000% in a day. Those are when I go on camera, but it's too hard to make money in a rough day when your best plays are moving 6%.
Yep. Tony, someone said Tony had 17,000 views on his live stream the other day. Why are you not live? I'm like, guys, obviously if I could be live, I would be live this week. I didn't pick this week to move on purpose. Trust me. This is probably the worst week ever to move.
What I did do today, though, is work for you guys on contacting the CBOE and the OCC. And, I was working. I was just making other productive use of my time.
Yep. And by the way, thank you for Tony for doing that because that really gives us a better outlook. And anyone staying out there that options are going to be a factor in this right now is not being truthful with you or they're misunderstanding. So
CSI wants to ask a question. Of course you can.
Let's hear it, CSI. By the way, CSI, I haven't talked to you in a while. I just want to say the video that you did on Blue and Al was really well done. You put that together really beautifully, so congrats.
Good night, Derek.
Night, brother.
CSI says, do you think when APE spins off, the price of the two stocks will be locked together or one can run and one can fall? I mean, there is a chance, CSI, that one could run and one can fall. But since what I think is going to happen, and I think you might agree with this, but I mean, I think what's going to happen is half the value of the company is going to be split over to here, and you'll have AMC and APE. So as we know, Adam Aaron said the price will drop in half, and half that price and half that value move over here. So we've got two parts make a whole, and we know that APE can eventually be converted back into an AMC share. So I'm thinking, just my thinking, I could be wrong, that the market will see that the value of an APE should be equal to the value of an AMC share. Because at any point, if a vote was taken, it would become an AMC share. Based on that and the laws of arbitrage and the way the market does not allow inefficiency, the two prices should mostly track very close together. If they don't, arbitrage will quickly bring them back because people will be using that opportunity to make a profit, and that will clean up any price discrepancy really quick. Now, who knows, man? Maybe on Monday the 22nd, one of them's 90% of the value and one's 10%. This is just my running theory right now. Mass, take us home, buddy.
I'm gonna say, and if look at the day, we always have hope. Right? No, I'm in the same boat as Tony. I think this is our opportunity here, and I'm gonna be back waiting to see what happens with these options next week, and things will get interesting. But for me, in all honesty, I will get excited when we hit new all-time highs. Until that day, you're gonna see a pretty low-key Massalorian, unfortunately, but I'm a realist. I'm not going to bullshit you. And let me just say, I missed everyone for the last week, and the love tonight was amazing. Thanks to everyone who was throwing me shout-outs, to the mods, to everyone who donated to, well, I got to pay first month's rent here, so we're not talking about lights anymore. Now it's mortgages and stuff, right? So, yeah, thank you guys so much. And I did miss everyone. And if I missed anyone tonight in the chat saying hey to anyone, I'll catch up in the next couple nights and we'll go live so I can, we'll try to get everyone's comments and everything. And Tony, fantastic job tonight. Thank you so much for moderating, moderating the collab. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, next one's on you if you get your equipment working correctly. But
yeah, I mean, I'll be good to go by tomorrow night. So I'll be good to go by tomorrow night. Don't worry. We're working on it. We'll get it fixed.
If not, I'm happy to continue until you're ready.
You got it. Thank you guys so much. Love all you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.